Okay. Okay, so we can start?
I think so.
All right. So, hello, everybody. So, I'm Dr. Luba Albu, and I am Senior Research Fellow at the Center for Automation and Robotics Research at the Industry and Innovation Research Institute, Sheffield Hallam University. Myself and my colleague, Josh Bamfos. Can you see Josh? Can they see you? He is the producer, actually. And we are in our STEM atrium, which you will attend very soon yourself, and you will see by your own eyes how, you will see through the eyes of the robot Fetch, which is our main actor. So have you ever dreamt to find yourself in different reality, or to be in two different worlds, or at least places at the same time? Then this demonstration is for you. And so in this demonstration, we will show you an example of so-called cyber-physical social ecosystem that seamlessly blends the real and virtual worlds using technologies such as virtual reality, robotics, and social networking technologies, and which are influenced by the users and their behavior. And so before we proceed further, I would like to introduce very, very small what we will do, just how to say, to give you an idea what it's about. And here it is. So how to increase, okay. So as I said, our demonstration is called Amalgamated Realities. And as you can see on the right side, you can see robot Fetch, actually not real one, but it's digital twin or avatar. And the idea is that we can now to be in different places, but we can see what is happening in other places, such as museum. And in this demonstration, you will see Museum of Robotics History. And here, as you can see, our team, initially it was supported and pilot study by our interns from France. Here they are, Robin, Jean-Alexis, and Leo, and this is myself, and Luis Nisiotis. And here on the right side, you can also see our supporters. Some of them you will see today, and they're also working with Robot Fetch, but in different projects, and they will present themselves. Here, other supporters, here Josh and Professor Alessandro Di Novo, and below you can see Luis and our ex-colleague, Jacques Penders. So here you will see main technologies, Robot Fetch, robotics, and virtual reality museum of robotics. So, and the demonstration is supported by our students. Guys, come here. Hello. Come here. So there are master student and PhD student, and they can present themselves. Only your names, okay? Please.
Hello, my name is Mohammed Rizwan, and I am a PhD student here in Sheffield Hallam University.
My name is Sulaiman. I'm a master student.
My name is Suraj Kanda Ramesh. I'm doing my first year master's in Automation, Control and Robotics.
My name is Cheryl Philip. I'm master student.
Hi, my name is Arvind, and I'm pursuing Automation, Control and Robotics in Sheffield Hallam University. Thank you.
Okay, guys, so they're all my master students, actually, but all right. So I try to involve them in this and supporting our demonstration. And now the demo will start. Our main actor is Robot Fetch, And I give the word to my collaborator, Dr. Louis Nisiotis, who is actually situated currently very far from our STEM atrium. Please, Louis, up to you.
Thank you, Liuba. Hi, everyone. My name is Louis Nisiotis. I am a lecturer at the University of Central Lancashire and the Cyprus Campus. I'm actually live streaming directly from the campus in the city of Larnaca on the southern coast of Cyprus, where we will be connecting into the virtual Museum of Robotics through virtual reality. So in this environment that we will be demonstrating, we will meet the digital twin of the robot Fetch. We'll see the world through the eyes of the robot and see it moving synchronously in the virtual world as it is moving in the real world. So if we can start sharing the screen. Yep. So
Yep.
What we can all see here is the virtual museum of robotics. Now we are connecting into this virtual museum using smartphone virtual reality and cheap head-mounted cardboard-based displays, which essentially the users are sliding in their phones into the cardboard VR and into the cardboard into the cardboard device, and then they are experiencing the virtual environment like this. So let's start our demonstration. Essentially, in this environment, we can see a lot of different robotic exhibits. We can find more about their operation. We can see them in action through simulations. So, for example, let's see. We've got some robotic exhibits here. We can have a close look at them. We can rotate them. We can find out more information about them, and we can also see them in action. Let's see another example, another demonstration. And we can find a lot of informational materials about the work of the robotics lab and the history of robots in general. Now, this is a multi-user virtual environment. So what you can see here, this is essentially me being the guest. So as you can see, moving around, and you can actually see the multi-user interactivity functionality, where the users could communicate, can see each other, they can send message, hi there, hi there. Yep, and they can all communicate, etc. So this is a multi-user virtual environment full of educational material, full of informational materials. We also have an educational game that helps users learn more about robotics. And what we also have here, we can actually see the digital twin of the robot Fetch. So this is the digital representation of the actual robot. And what's interesting is that this robot in this environment, we can see it synchronously moving around and see realities in the real and in the virtual world. So in front, you can actually see the robot Fetch and what Fetch can actually see in the real environment. So in this project, we are trying to merge realities. Apologies. And then we can issue instructions to robot Fetch and teleoperate it through virtual reality in order to see it moving in the real world interactively.
Okay, start moving the robot, please.
Can we make sure that we have depressed the safety button, if that's okay?
Everything is done.
Can we try
Yes.
it again, just to make sure?
Yes, I did. I can try again.
If you can try again, yes, please. Yep, we can actually see Luba.
Yes.
And there we are.
Yes. So now you can see that robot moving somewhere, and you will see where it will move. And what you will see also, not only how it moves in digital twin in the virtual reality, but also you can see via its eyes, let's call it eyes, even if it's camera, what you can see in the real world. Here it is. And now it's robot moving, real one. Where it's moving now? It's moving somewhere else. You know this? Louis?
The robot essentially now is navigating in the environment, and what we're doing is that we can synchronously see the world through the eyes of the robot, and it gives us a live feed of the actual robotics museum.
Yes, but
sorry,
the robot
from
now
the actual
moving in different. I would like to send it to reception.
So as you can see, the robot is moving around, and we can see the atrium. We can see the different areas.
Yes, and you can see also other people. Hello, Fitch.
You can actually see Luba over there.
Yeah.
So we get a live feed, which essentially this is merging realities, is blending the real and the virtual world together. So
yes, and here our STEM atrium, we have also other exhibits here. And robot Fitch. Hello, where are you? You see now Rizwan there, one of PhD students, and robot continue moving. Continues moving, and as you can see now, what is happening here around. Yeah. Now Fitch decided to read our posters, and now moving in different direction to see what is here actually happening. And I assume that you also, all of you, can see it, see our environment and our STEM atrium. There is some delay, yes? Sorry, guys, you understand? It's just hard to say to make this demo is not so easy. We're trying our best.
Well, me from the perspective of making the visits, I can see very clearly what's going on.
Yeah, you know.
In the lab, I can see you all guys.
And you know that Louis is not here, so he can see very well what is going on. So as you can see now, teleportation is actually possible, even if it's virtual one. And the robot goes in direction of Rizwan. Okay. I think now you can send us questions, and we will be happy to answer them.
Yep.
And it's.
I'll just keep on navigating in the environment to show it around, and we're looking forward for your questions.
Okay. And we need to stop it now, or it's 15 minutes. Sorry about this. It's our first demo. If it's something going wrong, but it's always going a little bit wrong. But I think you understand what it was about, and you can see a lot of interesting stuff here.
We can see Fetch moving around in that environment,
yeah.
and also
you also see it's digital twin.
Also in this environment, we have a lot of informational materials about the robotics lab.
There is also a friend here but it's on the other side of our atrium, STEM atrium.
We also have artificial agent elements that can help the visitors navigate around in the environment and see see different exhibits, etc. Yep. So Fetch is still navigating around. We can see the students and everyone.
Showing something, it's okay? What questions, please?
If anyone wants to stand in front of Fetch and say hello.
Yes, everybody can now tell hello to Fetch. I can go to, but already said many times. So. Fetch, hello. Hello.
So we can actually see Luba in synchronous, in real time, being in front of Fetch. So it is this concept of trying to merge realities, trying to blend the real with virtual worlds interactively, and create this new dimension. So essentially, we've got a virtual space, we've got the digital twin, which is essentially synchronizing, is synchronously shadowing what the real robot is doing, and we've got the live feed. And in addition to this environment also has AI elements, agents, educational components, and most importantly, it's a multi-user environment where users can coexist, can collaborate, can communicate, and can engage in educational activities together.
Yeah, and we continue working on this, and actually we would like to develop avatars that can decide on their own. So it's already hard to say maybe future of artificial intelligence. You can show some exhibits there, probably.
Yep. Just looking into some.
There are a lot of posters there.
Let's go to the Asimov robot. So this is an example where we're essentially using the AI guide, which is helping us choose which robot you want to visit. Let's say Turtlebot, and it will drive me and take me to where is the nearest Turtlebot. Some educational materials about the work of the Center for Automation and Robotics Research. The educational game here, which you're essentially trying to locate parts of the robot. So let's find the head. It's going to guide us to where the head is. And we need to go and answer a couple of questions in order to actually help rebuilding that robot. There it is. So let's see what question we've got at hand.
Okay.
If you have any questions, our producer is just going to put it on the big screen. What is a robot? Someone who lived years ago? Programming a machine, a human, an alien.
It was Unity. If there is a question.
I would go.
So, Martin, yes, Jairai.
So we've got a question.
Yes, about what kind of software used to create the virtual reality, and it's actually Unity. And Luis, you can say more because before you using different one, yes. Currently we use Unity, but there are also other options. You can tell a little bit about Unity, and I maybe can tell about something else, like MATLAB.
So for this particular prototype, we can see Resvan being in front of the robot. So in this particular prototype, we are using Unity environment, and because we are deploying it on cardboard, and we are using the Android SDK, and we're currently running it only on Android devices. But we have provisions for implementing and making this environment accessible for Oculus and other VR devices. As Luba mentioned, there are a couple of other solutions that we can be using. MATLAB is one of them for visualization, and also Unreal Engine, but especially for using it on smartphone devices for performance reasons. We have decided to stick with Unreal rather than with Unity, which is we found that is handling resources a little bit better.
Yes, and also possible to use Python, for example, but also to create. But Unity, in certain sense, probably easier to use. I'm not sure, but as you can see, it's looking nicely, and you have very beautiful digital twin of robot Fetch. Actually, as you can see now, it's a robot. You can see its arm, which is actually 7 degrees of freedom. And we have also other projects which we can pick and place objects, recognize colors, and so on. So some master student and also Rizwan working in this direction. And actually Josh, who's our producer currently, already worked at the very beginning with this robot fetch. More questions?
I'm going to continue completing the jigsaw puzzle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's guiding me towards another set of questions. The first one was an easy one.
What is a robot?
That one, yeah.
What is a robot? I can ask the audience.
So in this question, the first law of robotics dictates that a robot may not injure a human being, a robot may injure a human being, has the right to do what it wants, and may not obey humans.
There are also three, Louis, it's how it happened there are four. Initially was only three laws of.
Well, no, which I think these ones are actually wrong, aren't they? So I think it may not injure a human being, and there we are. You can see.
No, but then it was more new laws. Asimov introduced first three laws, and then there were other new laws. How actually robots should work alongside human beings, and Fetch is also an example, also called collaborative robots or cobots, and so in this case, what robot actually predictable because they follow the algorithm and program. Who is unpredictable? Human. And this we need to, so this is not so easy when we would like to develop. Okay, now some other people up here. Hello, guys. As you can see, not many people here because it's, first of all, already end of the academic year. And of course, it was locked down. It's still a little bit continue. Actually, I should put my shield on.
Oh, we can actually see our producer now. Hey, Josh.
Mm-hmm. Now we can see Josh, yeah.
Hello, Josh. Any other questions, just feel free to use the chat and we're happy to answer.
I think people overwhelmed. But we need also now to stop, or you said we need to reload?
Minutes or
can you move now, robot, to reception, please?
let's try it.
Let's try. And now we have here Formula Uno prototype.
And you can still see Fetch navigating around.
Yeah. But it goes in different direction. I think he would like to take some stairs. And unfortunately, it's impossible for the Fetch.
I think now he's navigating the cafeteria area now, isn't it?
Yeah. Unfortunately, our canteen is closed.
So, Luba, would you like to talk a little bit about the application domains and possible?
Yeah, I said a little bit, but I just want to know how, because it was, I understand, need to be interval. Yes? When?
Mm-hmm.
So in our lab, now in the STEM, there is also another robot, which is humanoid type, but you cannot see it, unfortunately. It's in the other end of our atrium. So in our lab, we have various types of robot, mobile robots, also industrial robots, robot arms, small robots, bigger robots, and you see Fetch is big robot enough, and it has a very big, long robot arm, and this is the most difficult can be how to avoid this arm for humans. And of course, we also worked in many projects, also in search and rescue, especially European projects, and we're also working with people with disabilities and thinking how robotics technology can help them. Also, people with autism, and of course, in education. And now, as you can see, Louis looking through his telephone. I also have this phone with me, but for a moment, let's see what you can see, what Louis can see.
So you should be able to see me in the screen moving around.
Yes, we can see you. You look a little bit different than, I think you changed your shape, but otherwise. So as you can see, with this technology, you can also change it, and you can even choose your own avatars and appearance of yourself.
So I'm just sending messages now.
All right. So I think we
Send a little
will.
message
Yeah.
saying Louis here.
Yeah. Luba is not there yet, but I will next time. Guys, we now will finish, and in 5 minutes time, we will have. It is a question, sorry. Why such a long arm for a robot? In order to reach further. Because if it's a robot working in general in warehouse or in shop, it needs to reach something. Moreover, because it's 7 degrees of freedom, so robot can this robot arm can have various configurations, and which will be easier to, for example, to pick and place objects which are located on shelves. And if you know industrial robots, they are much even longer. But this is how to say, as I said, collaborative robot. So its robot can work alongside human beings. We will be back in 5 minutes. We will now stop our show demonstration, but you can join again in 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Oh, hello. This is our demo, and I can even put my shield because we are in the university. So hello there, and I would like to tell you that, okay, my name is Luba Albu, and I'm Senior Research Fellow at the Center for Automation and Robotics Research at the Industry and Innovation Research Institute, Sheffield Hallam University. And now, myself and my colleague, Josh Pamphus, we are actually sitting in the STEM, in our STEM atrium. And this atrium, you will visit very soon yourself, and even you can see what is going on by your own eyes. Oh, actually, eyes will be of the robot Fetch, which our main actor. So, have you dreamt ever to find yourself in different reality? Maybe some, I don't know, different world, or to be at the same time in different places? Then this demonstration is for you. Our demonstration is called Amalgamated Realities. And in this demonstration, we will show you an example of so-called, actually a new type of cyber-physical social ecosystem that seamlessly blends together two different worlds. One is virtual and another real one, using robots, virtual reality, of course, and social networking technologies. And all this influenced by users and their behavior. And I have very small introduction, so it will be clear for you what will happen. As you can see here, there is some problem, guys, with, so I will show in such way. So it's called Amalgamated Realities, and you will see real robot, and as well as its digital twin or avatar, which is here. And the idea is to connect various places in the world, especially how this project start, to be able to see exhibits in various museums, and not only what is now you can see there, which is there on shelves, but actually also to understand the history behind these objects. And so here, initially, it was as a pilot of this project. As you can see, the main actor is a robot Fetch is here, and it was started with our interns, students from France, and here myself and Luis Nisiotis, my collaborator, and he will speak a little bit later. And here there are supporters as well, PhD students, master students, Professor Alessandro Di Nova, and also our ex-colleague, who was previously the chair, the head of the center, Jacques Penders. And this is actually, you see, virtual reality can be of various types, but here it's Virtual Museum of Robotics, which you will see a little bit later. And so we use various technologies and so on. So if you would like to have some questions, we will be happy to answer. And as I said, we also supported by students. You will see them in our demo. And now our demo will start, and I give the word to my collaborator, Dr. Luis Nisiotis, who is actually many miles away from our STEM. Nevertheless, he can see what is going on here and also can navigate remotely the robot simultaneously with its digital twin. Luis, please.
Thank you very much, Luba. So as Luba mentioned, my name is Luis Nisiotis. I'm a lecturer at the University of Central Lancashire, the Cyprus Campus. And I'm actually live streaming directly from the campus in the city of Larnaca on the southern coast of Cyprus, where we will be connecting in the Virtual Museum of Robotics through virtual reality. Now, in this environment, we will be able to meet the digital twin of the robot Fetch, see the world through his eyes, and see it moving synchronously in the virtual as in the real world. We are connecting to this environment using smartphone virtual reality, which essentially we're using Android devices, and we're using cardboard-based head-mounted displays where the user is essentially sliding in their Android-powered phone, and they're able to navigate and experience the VR environment using this method. And what you can see here, you can actually see the virtual museum where it features a lot of robotic exhibits. It features a lot of information about the history of robots and about the work that is being done at the Center for Automation and Robotics Research. Now, in this environment, you can see different robotic exhibits. You can find more information about them. For instance, this is the Asimo robot. And not only that, you can actually see demonstration of the robots. We've got quite a few exhibits where we can see them in action in a safe environment. Let's see, we've got some more information, a robotic arm. We can see a quick demo of it. We also have a lot of educational materials. Also in this environment, we have artificial intelligent agents that are contributing as guides. So for example, this guide can help you visit particular robots. So for example, take me to the Fetch robot, and it's going to start navigating to take me to Robot Fetch. So as you can see, this is the digital twin of Fetch. This is the actual representation, the digital representation of the Robot Fetch as it is in the real world. Let's just ask our guide to go somewhere else, take us to Asimo. Okay. So what you can see, apart from the digital twin of Fetch, you can actually see the world through the eyes of Fetch. So in front of him, you can see
there are 3 students there.
Live video feed. So, hey students, can you just say hi? I can't see.
Guys,
You want to say hello?
can you tell? No, in front of the robot, just tell hello.
You can actually see them. Can actually see the robot say to the students, say hello. So we can try to teleoperate the robot and be able to issue instructions and send it around in the virtual world. So you can see it synchronously moving in the real and in the virtual world simultaneously. And you can see the world through the eyes of the robot. So as you can see, the robot is navigating in the atrium area. You can see synchronous movement. And you can see the live video feed.
It's very, very curious. He would like to read what is written in our posters. Actually, this robot would like to be a student and tried already many times to be enrolled. But somehow it's still, maybe because of lockdown. We will try to enroll as a student, certainly as a master, in September.
So this gives us the ability to merge realities, to have a direct live video feed from the real world through the virtual environment. It allows us to visit remotely. So essentially now from where I am in Cyprus, I am visiting the STEM atrium at Sheffield Hallam University. Yeah. I can see the real world through the eyes of the robots. We can use the robot as our actor in the environment. As you can see, the robot now is trying to go to the reception area.
Yeah, but nobody's there, so nobody. He would like to be enrolled, but trying. Nothing happening, so probably it will think a little bit what to do next, and maybe we'll move to some other place.
The robot to go and see and visit a different area. So in this environment, we can merge realities. Also, obviously, and also it's worth mentioning that this is a multi-user virtual environment where users can synchronously coexist and collaborate in the same space at the same time. You've got a chat where you can send messages, etc., etc. And you can use the robot to be the actuator in the real world. The robot is trying to show you that new exhibit. He's navigating, still navigating around and going around it and exploring the environment, giving us the opportunities to. There is Luba. Hello, Luba. He's right in front of the robot now. And there are some students. So what we also have in this environment, as I mentioned, is that we do have a lot of robotic exhibits. We do have a lot of informational signs. We also have educational game where users can engage with and learn a little bit more about the history of robots. So, for example, this is a kind of a scavenger hunt game where the robot has actually lost some of the body parts and we'll have to build it together. So let's try to locate, let's say, the left arm. And it's going to navigate us where the left arm is. So essentially, it's a Q&A game where we need to answer some of the questions. And for every correct answer, the part goes and becomes part of the actual robot. So in this game, let's see what the questions is. What is not a robot? Good question. A programmable machine, capable of doing complex tasks, automation with precision and efficiency, a human. I think this is the correct answer. So as soon as we get the answer, we can see the part going to take place right in front on the actual robot. And in that way, we can complete the educational game. Again, our autonomous agent, take us to the turtle bot. Where is this turtle bot? And then we can keep on navigating around in the environment, which, as I mentioned, is a multi-user environment.
Something happened with robot?
Now, I've just sent another request for the robot to go somewhere else.
Okay, now it's moving again. So you can see something else.
So this is where I asked the autonomous agent to bring me. It's bringing me to see.
There are questions?
If we have any questions at any point, just.
What do we mean by 7 stages of freedom? Louis, it's up to you.
I think
freedom.
The question is about the 7 degrees of freedom.
Yeah. No, it's not stages. It's 7 degrees of robot arm. I think it's so. It's each, as you can see, robot arm consists of joints, and there are different types of joints. Can be spherical, cylindrical, but so each joint and how many joints you have, it's considered so many degrees of freedom you have. As you would like to speak what is freedom is. This is different type of question, more philosophical type. This is just how to say how it's called in robotics.
And the robot has the mechanical.
Because robot can move its arm in various directions, and in particular, actually, it's mathematics behind, and kinematics and dynamics. In order, if you know the position where you would like that gripper or end effector will be, you need to know also compute some equations starting from the base of a robot and using all joints. Okay? So it's 7 degrees of freedom. iPhone, we don't know yet. Yes, I think we're still using Android now.
We're currently on Android. What was the question? I've missed it. If there was
it's about iPhone. We're still not installed on iPhone, yeah?
So that is a great question. We're at the moment we're only focusing on Android SDKs and Android phones and Android devices. But future plans are to include iPhones and also to include we can run this environment on additional virtual reality modes like Oculus Rift, etc.
Yeah. Actually, yes, Oculus.
We're also
yes,
planning of implementing additional robots, additional agents and elements in the environment to make it more interactive.
Yeah. Initial idea was it will be network of robots, for example, situated in some environment or maybe in museum, and will greet you as guides and ask questions, and then move you to certain exhibit which you would like to see, and then probably you will go in virtual reality or your avatar and you will know more about history of the object on the shelves in the museums. Yeah, now you can see some people there. More questions? In principle, we're working also in another project. It's about how to help people, how robots can help people with various problems. One of them is anxiety. No, various ideas, what kind of design, what you would like to see, a robot as a humanoid or as a human looking or like an animal. In principle, there are robots which look like an, for example, robot Miro, like a rabbit, or there are other types very nice, like a small seal, and or like a dog. So in principle, if you are with a nice animal, it can help to say your anxiety can be reduced. But this is actually an ongoing research. Many researchers in the world working on this. More questions?
I'm just keep on navigating in the environment and showing
So
some
what
of
is
the
the uncanny valley? Uncanny valley, it was developed in actually by one of Japanese researcher. And the idea was the following one. Then the closer the robot to human, then a certain moment, so we accept the robot how they look, but the closer they to the human, then a certain moment there can be, how to say, some kind of drop in acceptance of this of such robots. That's why it's called uncanny valley. And also there are works on uncanny valley, of course, and so for me, for example, being a roboticist, it doesn't matter how a robot looks. For me, it's always a machine. But some people, it depends, of course, because there are some, how to say, people that, how to say, they can be fragile and so on. And for them, they can consider it happened that they think that a robot, actually, it's a person. And this can be, how to say, can go to some, how to say, developing some very strange problems. And so, but we also working on, not only me, no, I mean, I a little bit, a lot of research in the world about this. So we think we will now take a break, and we will be in 10 minutes time, more or less, yes, back? In 10 minutes time, we will be back again, and we can explain more even about also uncanny valley and so on. Like, where is my phone? Oh. That's my phone, you know. We are already on the show. Hello, everybody. So we are now, we would like to show our interesting demonstration that combines together various technologies. And I'm Luba Albo. I'm Senior Research Fellow at the Center for Automation and Robotics Research, Industry and Innovation Research Institute at Sheffield Hallam University. And I'm sitting together with my colleague, Josh Bamfos, who is producer. You will see him later. He's still here. he needs to be here because he will combine all our screens and also. So, and we are in the STEM atrium at our university. And here you will soon visit this atrium yourself and you can see it through your own eyes. Actually, I'm really apologies. It will be the eyes of a robot Fetch, our main actor. And have you ever dreamt to find yourself in different worlds, different realities, somewhere, I don't know, maybe on the other side of the earth, or maybe even on the moon, or of course, also at the same time into different places or even spaces. If so, then this show or demonstration is for you. And very small introduction, because what we would like to see, to show today. Just a second. Here my presentation. A little bit about what I want to tell you, what we will do. So what we try to do, actually, it's develop a system, so-called cyber physical social ecosystem that combine together or blends together seamlessly various technologies such as virtual reality, robots, and social networking. And this is what we will show you today. And as you can see here, various applications which can be used. We will show you virtual museum of history of robotics, and also one of the avatar or digital twin called of our robot Fetch will move in this virtual museum of robotics, but real Fetch will move and show you our atrium. And this is collaboration project between researchers from our center and also University of Central Lancashire, where is my collaborator, Dr. Louis Nisiotis, is currently there, and he will show you interesting stuff about virtual reality, as well will be able to move the robot via virtual reality, being himself, as you know, very far from our STEM, but will be able to navigate the robot in our STEM atrium. And here, okay, various people, as you can see. Pilot study was developed initially by together with our intense students from France and also our own students. And here you can see this is robot Fetch in the middle. And here various supporters. These two guys, they will present themselves. It's PhD student Rizwan and master student Aravind. They both working with robot Fetch, but in different projects. And here you can see actually this Josh Bamfos, who is our producer. He worked as well with this robot, and Alessandro Di Novo, Professor Alessandro Di Novo, he also working with robots and supporting our research. And here you can see Louis and our ex-colleague, ex-head of the Center for Automation and Robotics Research, Jacques Penders, professor. And here, so what you can see here, okay, I will not speak too long, much better to show demonstration. Here you can see this robot Fetch in reality, and here you can see it digital twin. Digital twins, now it's hard to say taken actually a lot of research in this direction, because digital twin can be not only of a person as avatar of an object, or in this case a robot. It can be a digital twin of the whole environment, which you can operate, you can check, test, and find out what may be wrong, what should be done, for example, in big warehouses. And here in examples of various virtual reality environment. This is, as you can see, warehouse, a lot of shelves. Here, robot fetch being also collaborative robot. What does it mean? It means that it's a robot that can work alongside human beings. Here, as you can see, virtual reality museum of robotics. And here's also, but also you can see this part is what you can see in the real world. And of course, it can be also other application, galleries, museums, even some, for example, smart cities and so on, and so on. So if you would like to know more about applications, we are happy to answer and send us emails. Okay, so now, as I said, our demo is also supported by students, but you will see them a little bit later. And now our main actor, Robot Fetch, is staying in the atrium, and I give the word to my collaborator and ex-colleague, Louis Nisiotis, who is situated very far from STEM atrium. Nevertheless, he also able to see what is happening here. Louis, up to you.
Hi, Luba. Thanks for the introduction.
Hello, everybody. Yeah.
So my name is Louis Nisiotis. I am a lecturer at the University of Central Lancashire, the Cyprus Campus, and I will be live streaming directly from the campus in the city of Larnaca on the southern coast of Cyprus, where we will connect in the virtual Museum of Robotics through virtual reality. In this virtual reality environment that you'll be seeing your screen in a little bit, there we are. We will be able to meet the digital twin of the robot fetch. When we say digital twin, it's the synchronous representation of the robot in the virtual space, which is shadowing its real world movement. It's collecting information, it's sensing data, and it's projecting it into the virtual environment. So we will be able to see the real world through the eyes and see synchronously moving in the real and in the virtual world. So it's worth mentioning that we are connecting in this environment through smartphone virtual reality and the use of cardboard-based devices, where the users can just simply slide in their smartphone and experience the virtual reality environment through the cardboard-based HMD. So in this environment, you can see what we have is we do have a lot of robotic exhibits. We have a lot of educational materials about the history of robots. We've got exhibits and information about specific exhibits. We can also see different kinds of simulations and demonstrations of how the robots are operating. So for example, more info, this is the Asimo robot, etc., etc. We can closely examine it, we can navigate it around, we can actually simulate and see how this robot operates in the real world. We have a lot of educational materials, a lot of information about the work that the Center for Automation and Robotics Research is doing. Let's see another example of a robotic arm, and let's see the demonstration. That is great. Now, it's worth mentioning that this is a multi-user virtual world, so you can see other people being represented as avatars in the virtual environment, and they can communicate, they can collaborate with each other in the virtual space. We'll do a quick demonstration of this in a second. I'll just run it on my smartphone so you can see the synchronous interaction between the users. What we can also see, what we also have in this environment is that we have artificial intelligent navigational agents, which are helping us navigate in the environment. So let us ask this agent to take us to the robot fetch.
This agent is you?
This is just an AI agent that is helping us navigate in the environment. So here we are, and this is the actual digital twin of the robot Fetch, and you can see its mechanical arm, and you can see its. Let me just send this little fella away. Take us to the Azimo robot. Bye bye. And what you can also see is you can see the world through the eyes of Robot Fetch. So you can actually see the live video feed of what is projecting, of what Fetch is seeing, and you can experience and merge realities that way. So what we can also do.
I would like to say what robot see. The robot sees now actually our reception, which of course, unfortunately, is empty, because university is still in certain lockdown. Even we can come and to the university and works, and we can work in labs. But robot stays there because I'm very pity for this robot, because he would like to enroll. He would like to be a student, because he always surrounded by students in the lab. But until now, he did not succeed. I call him even he, but maybe it's she, but we don't know. Okay, so the robot patiently waiting when it will be enrolled.
So
okay, please, up to you now. Start to navigate it, probably, yes.
So now we can see the robot actually navigating and moving around synchronously in the real and in the virtual space. So you can see the robot moving, and you can see the live video feed of what the robot is seeing in the real world. You can see some of the students. Hello there.
Hello, you can present yourself, maybe tell hello to the robot Fetch guys.
There they are, you can see the students, and you can see the robot navigating around.
It's our master students and actually in robotics and also PhD.
So I have also just connected. So let me just slide this in, and so we can always be together. So you should be able to see me in the real space.
Mm-hmm. So Louis looking inside and actually can see what he can see in virtual reality, yes. And it's written guest, but it's actually Louis.
So I'm actually going to send a little message.
You look, yeah, in virtual reality, you have different shape, different appearance. So it's very interesting. You can use this to change your appearance.
I do. So I've just sent a little message to myself.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, hey there. So I can also send messages through this multi-user virtual environment. We can also use voice, etc. So it's a multi-user virtual world which allows to merge realities using real and artificial agents and elements. And Luba, would you like to say a little bit more about some potential application domains?
Yeah, just was speaking a little bit at the beginning. So actually, can be a lot of applications, even, for example, in healthcare, because especially in now, this is, COVID happened, and robot can help in what sense? So robot can visit the hospital for you, in principle, speak to a doctor, but the idea actually is a little bit different, so that robot as a guide can greet and meet, and even something happened, robot can help disabled people a lot, and not this one necessarily, but other robots, and also nurses and doctors can operate and can collaborate and can speak about through these avatars or digital twins of robots. Another application, of course, in education, when now, especially when until recently, most school children were sitting at home, but it can increase in, their communication with others using the robot and virtual reality, and collaborate and communicate among themselves. And of course, virtual museums, not really virtual, can be real one, but you can visit museum through the eyes of the robot. and of course also other various events such as, for example, football games, which your avatar can be there and you can watch football game. For example, what had happened now, it's gone Euro 2020. Actually, it should be Euro 2021, but it was cancelled last year, as far as I know. And so I watch sometimes on the television, of course, but would be much nicer to be there as my avatar and feel, how to say, excitement. Actually, I play football myself when I was a young girl. So, Louis, now you.
Yeah, I would also like to show a couple of other things that we've got in this environment to help the visitors
Yes.
learn a little bit more. We've got an educational game where
Yeah.
essentially we're trying to rebuild a robot that lost its part.
Now robot moving to its friend, to this humanoid type robot, as you can see, blue color.
Yeah. So in this educational game, we try to rebuild we try to rebuild the robot by answering specific
No, it will
questions.
stop. So just a second, Louis. It's of course very interesting, but also maybe Josh, you can show bigger screen because there is robot now looking at. Because robot now finally arrived to its friend. Stop it there, please. Leave it there. You can see now, okay, our students there, because the robot was a little bit, how to say, behave not so as it should. This is a problem with collaborative robotics, how a robot will behave. In principle, a robot behave predictably, but humans maybe not. In this case, it was different. But as you can see, you can also see our other exhibit, our type of a robot, which is actually looks like a human and also has arms, and also which can have also fingers, which can manipulate and take object and pick and place. Okay, yep. Louis, up to you.
Let's now send the robot back to the help desk.
Okay.
So we are issuing instructions in the virtual environment, and the robot is following the instructions and is navigating and doing his clever pathfinding and is finding his place around. And Luba can say a lot more about the actual technologies that the robot is using if you want.
Yes,
Luba.
if you have questions, of course, the robot has sensors, cameras, and in principle, of course, it's impossible. Humans can feel, okay, I would not say that it's sixth sense, but in principle, we can even feel, how to say, all our body, because our skin is the biggest sensor of our. But robot, of course, it's still difficult to do this. But nevertheless, infrared sensors, ultrasound, and laser scan, and of course, camera allows robot to stop and move in the right directions. And all right, I think time to finish or not? Producer.
Let's just wait if you have any more questions.
Yeah, there are questions. If you have questions, please, we are happy to answer in more detail if you have questions, please. No questions? Oh.
Just in a quick demonstration.
Because students who would like to ask questions, they're here. That's the problem. You can show this screen what is about robot. What is the robot?
Got a question here. The first law of robotics dictates that a robot may not injure a human being, may injure a human being now. Has the right to do what it wants? Definitely not. May not be a human. A robot may not injure a human being. Yep. So the robot actually went in front of his friend to see his friend again. Do we have any questions?
Questions, please, if somebody watching.
Let's send the robot back to its to the near the
Yeah.
camera where the help desk
Okay.
is, so we can see it synchronously moving, both in the real and in the virtual world.
Yes, as you can see, a robot also can see what is happening if you put it bigger.
So if you see the live video feed
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
from Sheffield Hallam, you can
Yeah,
actually
here's
see
a real robot and its avatar or digital twin moves in virtual reality. All right. So we're waiting for some questions.
let's keep on navigating the robot around so our visitors can actually see the rest of the lab of the exhibition space.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it provides us the opportunity to blend realities, and it gives unlimited opportunities. Allows us to blend realities in space and in time. And with the use of artificial intelligence agents and elements, we can do a lot of clever things.
Yes, and teleportation now possible. It's virtual teleportation, but still.
So the robot now is looking at some posters. Let's send it back.
Okay, we wait for, I don't know, maybe wait 1 second, 1 minute more, and then we can stop, and then we can show the last show. What do you think? We need to show, should be, if we don't have questions, guys, if you have questions, if somebody watching, please send an emails, because we're planning now to stop this demonstration, and in 5 minutes, we will start again. All right? You see a robot moving, digital twin, in virtual reality, in virtual museum of robotics, and the real one can see what is going on. Okay, let's stop. So guys, we are stopping now, but in 3 minutes time, we will start again. It will be the last demo. So I need to prepare my, just a second, I need to prepare. Hello. This is our last demonstration in this UK-RAS Festival of Robotics. And my name is Luba Albu, and I'm Senior Research Fellow at the Center for Automation and Robotics Research at the Industry and Innovation Research Institute at Sheffield Hallam University. And I'm sitting now in the STEM atrium of our university, and my colleague, Josh Bamfos, who is also a producer, also sitting just next, 2 meters from me, of course. But I had to say he will be sharing the screens and so on. And so the question to you, you would like, of course we all dream, maybe in our dreams when we sleep, but have you ever dreamt to find yourself in a different reality, how to say, really, not just in your dream, or to be in 2 different places, 2 different maybe worlds at the same time? If it's so, this is our demonstration would like to show to you what can happen and that it actually might be possible. And in this demonstration, I have some small presentation. Here it is. And so our demo called Amalgamated Realities. And what we would like to show, new kind, actually it's an example of new kind of so-called cyber-physical social ecosystem that blends together or fuse together different realities, actually real world and digital world, and using for this robotics, virtual reality environments and social networking technologies. So this is an idea, as you can see here. It's of course virtual reality. And here there is a digital twin or avatar of our robot Fetch, which will be our main actor in this demonstration. And this is, as you can also see, it's myself, written Luba, as my avatar in different, looks a little bit differently. Here, it's one example of museum in Valencia. But as you can see, the idea was actually, this idea of this project was several years ago, how we can visit museums and also to see something which already, not everything you can see when you come to the museum, but also would like to understand what happened behind these exhibits which you can see in the museum and their history. And this is collaborative project between researchers from Center for Automation and Robotics Research and the University of Central Lancashire. And here was our team. This is Robot Fetch. You will see now it in reality. And So you will actually visit our STEM atrium. You will visit it and you will see by its own eyes, but actually, sorry, via the eyes of Robot Fitch. And this is our initial team. This is myself, this is Louis, and our 3 interns from France. And on the right side, also other students who also working with this robot, which is can also called as collaborative robots. What does it mean? It's a robot that can work alongside human beings and do similar tasks as humans. And here, actually, Josh, and here Professor Alessandro Di Novo, who also works with robot, but in different a little bit directions, but nevertheless, also with robots, how robot can help people, for example, with autism or with other type of anxieties. And here, Louis and our ex-head of the center, Professor Jacques Penders. And here you can see Robot Fetch. So main technologies, it's Robot Fetch and Virtual Reality Museum of Robotics. And so now we go. Now our demo will start in real. And I give the word to my collaborator from Cyprus, Louis Nisiotis, Dr. Louis Nisiotis, who's actually situated very far from our STEM. Nevertheless, he able even to navigate the robot in our atrium and see what is going on around and also what is going on in Virtual Museum of Robotics. Louis, up to you.
Thank you very much, Luba. So, hi everyone. My name is Louis Nisiotis. I am a lecturer at the University of Central Lancashire, the Cyprus Campus, and I'm live streaming directly from the campus in the city of Larnaca on the southern coast of Cyprus, where we will be connecting you to the Virtual Museum of Robotics through virtual reality. Now, we are connecting to this environment using smartphone virtual reality and cardboard-based devices, where the where the user can actually experience VR just by simply sliding their Android smartphone device into the HMD. So in that case, the users are able to connect to the virtual world and see the world through the eyes of the robot. What we're going to do, we're going to try and demonstrate, and so you can see the digital representation of Fetch, the digital twin of Fetch, which is a digital representation that is synchronously shadowing the robot in the virtual environment. So in this environment, we've got a lot of informational exhibits, and we also have a lot of robotic exhibits where the visitors can find out more information about particular robots. So for instance, this is the Asimo robot and what the Asimo robot can do. But what they could also do is they can see a live demonstration of what the robot can do in a safe environment, obviously. We've got mechanical arms, we've got all sort of exhibits in order to help educating our visitors. And what's also interesting is that this is a multi-user virtual environment. So essentially, each user is connected to the virtual world, and you can see the world through and they can connect, and you can see them synchronously navigating and moving around. So essentially, you can see me now in your screen approaching the character and moving around and navigating. What we can also do is we can actually communicate using messages. We're going to say just a hello. So we're going to navigate around.
Okay, so as you can see, Louis actually looks through this smartphone, and actually his avatar in the virtual museum, which looks a little bit differently than Louis. It's written guest here, so he's a visitor in the museum. Louis, maybe we start now moving Fetch.
Yeah, so I've just sent a message just to say hi there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what you can also see, we've got an AI guide which helps us navigate in the environment. So we're going to ask this guide to take us to Fetch. And it's just navigating around using artificial intelligence pathfinding. And what you can see is the start of the show, which is the robot. And as you can see, is a digital representation of how the robot looks in the real world. There it is. And let's just send this little fella away for a second. Let's get him to the Osmo. Okay. So what you can also see is you can see the real world through the eyes of Fetch. So what you can see now is a live video feed of where Fetch is at the moment. And what we can do, we can send Fetch to different locations using through virtual reality, and we can see Fetch synchronously navigating and projecting the real world into the virtual reality environment. Hence, immersive realities. So now Fetch will try to visit his friend.
Yeah, which is actually, as you can see, blue color of this, and it's look like humanoid robot. Only half of this humanoid robot, but it also has arm. Robot Fetch has very long and 7 degrees of freedom arm, which can use specially to pick and place and reach various shelves. So Robot Fetch can work in shops and in warehouses. And now it's looking at its friend. I called it blue. Can you increase a little bit or not? No, whatever. Okay, and so if you have questions, don't hesitate, ask us, please. So Robot Fetch tries to also looking around.
And show the environment. So we can actually see,
but
we can actually see that there's a formula there.
Yes, it's our other students, engineering students, working on projects related to Formula Uno, and it would be interesting, by the way, to develop also this car in virtual reality, which actually was done a little bit, but okay.
Here we can see the students. Hello there, everyone.
Yeah, students, you can also say hello to the Robot Fetch, guys. You need to stay in front. It's PhD student Rizwan, and other students are masters. Robot using now its sensors in order to avoid people. And now it's going directly to the reception, trying to enroll itself or him to be a student. Unfortunately, until now, it did not succeed. But so nobody is there, so no Fetch, only September. I will speak for you and will give you reference.
So just looking around into the environment to showcase a little bit more. We also have, the environment also has an educational game to help the visitors learn about particular things. The whole purpose of this game is to rebuild a robotic exhibit based on correct answers, and the answers are based on questions regarding robots. Let's see if we can get this question correctly. We're just following. There we are. So the question is, what is not a robot? A programmable machine, complex tasks, automation, precision. It's not a human. So we can see that this robotic part is actually going back to the robot.
Okay, maybe it's not a human, but how do you know that if you see a human, that this human is not a robot?
True.
There is questions. What were the main challenges developing this, or was a lot of challenges? First of all, of course, to create environment, then to connect environment to Robot Fetch, or can be other robot, because we use a lot of technologies. Okay, Unity for virtual reality, robotic operation system, Linux operating system, and also we need to connect, of course, using Wi-Fi or whatever. But the problem is, of course, it's not so easy, and we spend some time to be. And finally, we can Louis can connect to the robot via being in Cyprus. And of course, there is a special IP address for Robot Fetch. Louis, now tell me about your problems with developing these apps on the on telephone?
Yes, one of the major issues we're experiencing, as Liba mentioned, had to do with the networking and the ability to be able to connect to the robot from remote locations. As I said, I'm currently located in Cyprus, and I can actually see the robot, the center, the STEM atrium, and see the students and Luba. Another issue that we're experiencing has to do with the technology itself. There are a lot of technical challenges that we need to resolve, both on the virtual environment and on the actual robot. And we're also having some issues regarding the use of smartphone VR. Ideally, you do need smartphones who are quite powerful, and but we are also planning to implement this into iOS devices, and also using more traditional virtual reality headsets like Oculus Rift, etc.
Yeah, and sometimes, of course, technology, whenever especially when it's needed, cannot work. But today, everything is working. But my problem was, unfortunately, I was unable to connect today to our robotic museum of virtual museum of robotics, but I was able to connect yesterday. Need to find out what is wrong exactly. And actually, of course, a lot of other things to be developed, really digital twin, not only of a robot or device, but of the whole environment. For example, it's very important for some, for example, some electrical station, and so that you can also, how to say, working in this digital twin to understand what can happen and how to avoid certain, even some accidents. Or so this is an idea, or also to visit some remote places, for example, to see what happened, and also, of course, using gaming in certain sense to visit what happened, for example, in Pompeii 2,000 years ago, and experience this, why we need to do this in order to prevent similar disasters, or because we cannot, of course, prevent everything, but what we can develop strategy, how we can behave and help people to be safe. Because as you know that it's Napoli or Naples, it's actually situated on two volcans, and it can happen in any moment of time. So this is another application, and also with the help of robots and other, to develop a strategy if something happened of such type, where people need to run or to be safe. More questions?
I think Claire is mentioning that she would like to visit the museum sometime. We will eventually make it available for everyone. We're still at the testing stage, and we're trying to resolve some of the issues that we're having. The important thing is that we have managed to resolve a lot of technical glitches, and as you can see, we're now connecting from abroad, and we're able to connect and have a usable experience. The issue with COVID, obviously, we've lost access to the robot, we've lost access to labs, etc. But the ability of merging realities using robots and using virtual reality provides opportunities for the future in order to access inaccessible locations, virtualize objects, virtualize situations, etc.
So probably it will be not just Internet of Things or Internet of Robotic Things. It will be probably Internet of everything. Of course, we also did some qualitative evaluation, and we need to do also quantitative, which we are working now on. More questions? Or time to stop.
Let's just wait a couple of more minutes. Let's just send Fetch to its friend just to say bye-bye, I think.
Yes, you can do this now. Fetch. Hello, Fetch. Fetch,
Sending
why
it
you
now.
not telling anything? You should speak already. This is another another problem. Of course, you mean it's a camera, it's some kind of Kinect type. So it measures also depth, yes. But
And it's
So-
saying hello to its friend, which is the humanoid robot. And as I said, multi-user environment,
yes.
a lot of learning materials.
The sensor which in the camera is prime sensor.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah. And there are other, of course, options. We can combine cameras, even normal Wi-Fi cameras or webcam cameras with lasers, and you will get depth and representation and colors, which we did in our other projects. Okay, 6:10.
And I also mentioned, Luba, one of the technical challenges that we were experiencing has to do with the actual video that we're streaming. We had to downgrade a little bit the quality in order to make sure that, because we were having delays, and it's essential to have synchronicity, and the delays are not welcome. So we put a lot of effort trying to find the right amount of bandwidth that is needed for this. And care to say some of the future work, we're working on implementing additional robots, Luba, additional AI agents and elements to improve interactivity and make the museum experience more enjoyable.
Yes, a lot of plans we have.
So unless we have any other questions.
Yeah, I think we should, now we will stop. And thank you very much to attending this show.
Thank you very much,
Actual
everyone.
demonstration. Thank you. And if you have further questions, I think you can find our emails and send to us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.